Edinburgh spent several weeks in hospital earlier this year and was discharged last month. He was married to Queen Elizabeth for 73 years and is the longest-serving consort of a reigning British monarch. There you see the live pictures of London, where flags are flying at half-mast. Prime Minister Boris Johnson paid tribute to the Duke, saying he earned the affection of generations in the UK, across the Commonwealth and around the world.
Like the expert carriage driver that he was, he helped to steer the royal family and the monarchy, so that it remains an institution indisputably vital to the balance and happiness of our national life.
Well, reactions are pouring in. The Archbishop of Canterbury saying, quote, "I join with the rest of the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth in mourning the loss of His Royal Highness Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh." And we'll have more reaction from the region and around the world, indeed, coming up. Let's bring in our correspondents now, our team. Anna Stewart, Max Foster, Sarah Griswood and CNN royal commentator Kate Williams. And let's start with you, Anna, at Buckingham Palace.
Morning, Becky. Yes, it's a sombre mood here at Buckingham Palace. We're starting to see some people coming out to the gates. I think of some disbelief, really, that it's actually finally happened. Prince Philip has died, aged 99, just 2 months short of his 100th birthday. And as you said, this comes after many weeks of him being unwell in hospital in London. He was suffering from an infection. He was also treated for a pre-existing heart condition. He had a minor operation. It went well. He returned to Windsor Castle, but sadly he passed away this morning. Now, he leaves behind the most extraordinary legacy. As you said, he is the longest-serving consort in British history, married to the Queen for 73 years. 65 years of active service, performing official engagements alongside his wife, very much a partnership throughout that time, and also on his own. He did over 22,000 solo engagements. He was patron of over 600 charitable organisations. This is a man who really touched the lives of millions of people here in the UK and around the world, the Commonwealth, of course, and he'll be remembered very fondly, I think, over the coming days. And we've got so much to talk about his legacy and the life that he led. Becky?
Max Foster, a quote from Prince Philip himself recently. He said, I think to try and create a memorial for yourself while you're alive is slightly indecent, I think. I'd rather other people decide what legacy I leave. I'm not trying to create one. And anybody who knew Prince Philip wouldn't be surprised by that sort of comment. But your thoughts, if you will, on his legacy on a day that we have learned that Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, and the Queen's husband has passed away at the age of 99.
Well, in terms of a memorial, the Queen has ultimate say on that. She will be signing off plans that have been laid out over a period of years and which, frankly, Prince Philip was intimately involved with. And I think it's true to say that he didn't want a huge amount of fuss. I think the Queen would like to give him more fuss. Now it becomes a question of, do you give Prince Philip what he wanted, a lower key funeral, or the bigger one that she feels that he deserves? He absolutely played an integral role to her monarchy, the longest monarchy in British history. He was her closest advisor and, of course, her partner. She was very close to her mother, very close to her sister, but she lost them in the 90s. So the monarchy loses something here, and that means that 16 countries around the world lose something here. The Queen won't abdicate, I'm sure of that. She has always suggested that she would serve throughout her whole life. But what this does mean is that she doesn't have that support that she had previously. Prince Charles, Prince William will be stepping up even more than they had done before. But I think Prince Philip is someone who, in front of the cameras, did take a couple of steps behind. I think that was probably quite difficult for him, frankly, as a dominant force, a very strong character. But behind the scenes, he was the patriarch of the family. He would make key decisions about anything involving education, for example, or indeed more recent family crises, like the ones where the Sussexes left their royal roles, and Prince Andrew as well, getting caught up with Jeffrey Epstein. So these sorts of things Prince Philip would play into in a key way, but we never really saw that. But I think we'll get a sense of loss, really, in the way that the family moves forwards, Becky.
Sarah, to quote Queen Elizabeth on Prince Philip. He is someone who doesn't take easily to compliments, but he has quite simply been my strength and stay over these years. And I owe him a greater debt than he would ever claim or we shall ever know, she said, during a speech on their golden wedding anniversary back in 1997.
Yes, that's absolutely right. I don't think there's any doubt at all that he really was the wind beneath her wings. I think now, in his latter years, we've almost forgotten the man Prince Philip was and the job he did in the first years of his wife's reign, because he really was the modernizer of the royal family, you know, helping to reshape it. And you've been talking about his legacy. I think Prince Philip's legacy really is a royal family, a British monarchy equipped to move into the 21st century. I think that's his lasting tribute, if you like.
Kate, he was born Prince Philip of Greece and Denmark on the island of Corfu in Greece in 1921. For those who are less familiar with the life of Prince Philip, who was he?
Well, Prince Philip had a very difficult childhood. So Prince Philip, like Queen Elizabeth, is a descendant of Queen Victoria, and he was part of the Danish royal family that became part of the Greek royal family. But in the early 1920s, there was a lot of insecurity. The Greek monarchy abdicated, came back, and so Prince Philip and his family fled. He was just a baby. He and his sisters and his father and mother all had to flee from Greece. He was put in a little crate by a British Navy vessel, and after that, he had a very difficult childhood. His mother was sent away to a mental asylum. She had a very difficult life. His father really was quite absent. So Prince Philip really did bring himself up as a young man and found a lot of he found a lot of strength and a lot of structure in boarding school at Gordonstoun, which did move to this country, and where Prince Philip really excelled. Someone who'd had a really difficult childhood. Apparently, once upon a time, someone said to him, "What language did you speak at home when you were young?" And he said, "Where was home?" So he found a real structure in the Navy. He became, when he went to Naval College in Dartmouth, where he met the young Princess Elizabeth, they jumped over nets together. She found him charming. She was 13. He was 18. He was the top level cadet at the time. He was absolutely top and he became one of the youngest first lieutenants. He absolutely excelled in the war. And it's very striking because after the war, Prince Philip was really often criticised, anti-German prejudice because of the war, and yet he'd fought so bravely on the Allied side and saved many, many men from German bombs on the ships. He was a brave and determined and devoted man in the Navy, and I think that was where he completely excelled, and it was really very difficult for him to give that up when in 1952, to everyone's surprise, the king was so young. George VI was so young. He died, and the Queen became Queen. And suddenly, Prince Philip and his wife were catapulted into this new role that they hadn't expected at that point for another 10 or 15 years. And he was a man. You know, we're saying, who was he? He was a man of devotion. He was a man of great strength. He was a man who really was at the top of his game and then went to be the consort, a role that isn't always easy, and became the longest serving, a man who only retired in 2017, did so much for charities, did so much for causes, and really, I think, gave so much, just as Sarah was saying, just as Max was saying, so much to this country.
And for the Commonwealth and Australia's Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, saying, quote, Prince Philip was no stranger to Australia, having visited our country on more than 20 occasions, then going on to say, Australians send our love and deepest condolences to Her Majesty and all of the royal family. The Commonwealth family joins together in sorrow and thanksgiving for the loss and life of Prince Philip. God bless from all here in Australia.
It is with the greatest pleasure that the King and Queen announce the betrothal of their dearly beloved daughter, the Princess Elizabeth, to Lieutenant Philip Mountbatten, Royal Navy.
Into the dull November morning, two greys draw the Irish stagecoach.
I, Philip.
I, Philip.
Take thee, Elizabeth Alexandra Mary.
Take thee, Elizabeth Alexandra Mary.
To my wedded wife.
To my wedded wife.
Again and again the people called for Elizabeth and Philip. Again and again they joyfully responded.
Faith and truth I will bear unto you, to live and die against all manner of folk, so help me God.
And still Prince William, with his head hung, walking next to his grandfather.
He is someone who doesn't take easily to compliments, but he has quite simply been my strength and stay all these years.
I've just done what I think is my best. I can't suddenly change my whole way of doing things. I can't change my interests. I can't change the way in which I react to things. It's part of, that's somebody's style, and it's too bad, lumpy.